Hello everyone and welcome to the show, a podcast where we take a look back at films through the decades. We hope to revisit some old favourites and even discover some new ones as well. Tonight, we'll be dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. We're doing Batman. Let's start the show. Good?
Proud of that.
Yeah. Proud's a strong word.
This is exciting.
I'm your host, Terence Birch, and joining me tonight are my two co-hosts, Alvin, the human robot.
Beep bop.
And Mr. High Bar himself, Shawnee D.
The one and only.
Tonight, we're taking a look at Batman. It was released in 1989, directed by Tim Burton. It is rated PG, stars Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton, and Kim Basinger. It received 9 awards from 26 nominations, including an Oscar, for Best Direction Set Decoration. It is currently getting a 7.6 on IMDb and a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. Alright, so let's get it started. Had you seen this before?
I had. I was like 13 at the time, so I didn't really remember it very well. But I'd seen it once, maybe 1.5 times beforehand.
This is the first time I've watched it. The first Batman movie I probably watched was Batman Begins. So yeah, this Batman movie was pretty interesting.
And Sean, you liked it when you saw it, or not so much?
The first time?
First time.
Oh, I can't remember. I only remember like 3 scenes before I had, watched it recently. Of what I remembered of it, I liked, but we'll get more into that later on. I don't remember it fondly, but I remember it, so.
I'd seen this movie, I probably watched this movie probably 50 times as a kid. This was a recorded off television, VHS, one I watched, heaps. Wow. I remember loving it, and the next one, Batman Returns, like these two, I watched, and Batman Forever for that matter. Mm-hmm. I watched them heaps, so how well I remembered them is debatable, but I remembered liking them.
Right.
Well, next question, Alvin, you kind of already answered it, was had you seen any other Batman movies? You said you'd already seen Batman Begins?
Yes. Quite recently I rewatched The Dark Knight, and then after that I watched Batman 1989, and yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Quite a difference in Batman takes. I reckon I've seen all of the Batman films, even the Catwoman spin-off with Halle Berry, so I can't... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen every Batman film minus... I know it was a TV show, but minus the Adam West stuff, thinking back on it, so yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen... I've seen the Batman movies. I haven't seen Catwoman, Halle Berry thing, and from what I've heard, I don't want to.
Oh, it's a watch, but...
I've heard it's a tragedy.
What kind of watch is entirely up to you.
I've heard that, like, every stunt that's done is clearly a dude, and he's got, like, really broad shoulders. And you can tell, like, it's just it ain't Halle Berry. And I've seen a little bit of the Adam West stuff. But it's like...
How many Batmans have there been?
The
briefest of history, we've got the 2 Tim Burton ones.
Yeah, then there's Batman Forever, and that's Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
And then there's Batman and Robin, which is George Clooney. And then it's Dark Knight Trilogy.
I don't reckon I've seen the Val Kilmer one.
Batman Forever, yeah. It is what it is.
Who's the bad guy in that?
That's Two-Face and Riddler, which is Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey.
I have seen that.
Yeah, right.
Wow, I've seen them all.
Well, there you go.
Hell yeah. Take that.
Take that. All right. Getting back to this one, though. Character introductions, which is always in superhero movies, it's always a point of contention. Yes. What were your thoughts? Batman, Joker, Vicky Vale. Did you like, dislike? What are your thoughts?
Me personally, I mean, I would have to say that just in general, hero and villain introductions are very important because they very much set the tone of how the director is going to play that movie. So if it's a bit more campy, then they'll be introduced a bit more campy. If it's a bit more serious, they'll be introduced, punching a guy in the face. So if we go from Batman, I think personally it sets the tone very well where he's watching someone getting mugged and then he punches a guy out.
Gets him from the dark.
Yeah. So I think I quite liked the Batman thing, even though it was a bit memeable with the "I'm Batman."
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think particularly Batman's, I think was pretty good. Yeah, Alvin, what was your thoughts on the Batman introduction?
Yeah, the Batman introduction, I thought it was pretty cool because it shows like the family and the kid, which I thought was what's his name, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, with like Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
his,
I thought it was
mum
his
and-
backstory, but it kind of like mimicked it and
Yeah.
then introduced Batman. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, I'm assuming that's what he was going for.
Oh yeah,
As in-
undoubtedly. That's that he was like trying to, haha, you were fooled.
Yeah, you thought this was going to be his childhood backstory, but no, he's to the rescue this time.
If it wasn't, because like whilst watching it, I forgot that later on in the movie they actually show the Thomas and Martha Wayne death by robbery. I think if it wasn't basically the first Batman movie, it would have been good to just have that starting, because I think one of the memes in superhero movies, especially with Spider-Man, they always show the tragic backstory.
Yeah.
And only recently have films started to not do that.
Yeah.
Because by now you already know.
Everyone knows it, so
everyone
why would you do it
knows
again?
Batman's
Exactly.
background,
Yeah.
everyone knows Spider-Man's background, everyone, blah, blah, blah. If it weren't the first movie, because it makes sense to show the tragic backstory in the first movie, it would have been really cool just to have that start where someone, like he's watching it happen to someone else, and then the audience is like, oh yeah, that's what happened to him, and then you don't have to show it later.
Now he's to the rescue.
Yeah.
And then we sort of get cool. Then we see Alexander Knox, and he's sort of at the scene when those guys are getting taken away.
Yeah.
And he's like, he says to Eckhart, the bat's done this again. This is another case of the bat. And he's like, no, it's nothing. Knox, get out of here. Don't print that.
Yeah.
And then the guy walks past. He goes, it's a big giant bat. And he's like, oh, so it was the Batman. He's like, you're a hack. Don't print that sort of thing. Eckhart then leaves. This annoyed me. Eckhart then leaves that scene of that crime, right? So that's a crime that he's investigating. He's a detective.
Yes.
He leaves that. He goes seemingly half a block away up an alley.
Like literally down the alleyway.
Takes a turn. And he sort of he even checks over his shoulder, and he's like, "Nah, I'm totally in the clear. None of those cops are going to notice the lead detective walking off this crime scene." And down that alley is the biggest crime boss in Gotham's right-hand man, waiting to pay him off. Yeah. It's like, could that have been done better? Do you think? Like, in what world are you getting away with that? What detective on the take is going to be like, "Oh, come to the crime scene I'm investigating. That's super convenient for me." Like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That annoyed me. I even rewound it and watched it again, and I'm like, no, surely there's a cut in there to like later that night or something. No, he walks down the alley.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about it that way, but now that you point it out,
I mean, the scene's fine once he gets there, like his confrontation with Jack Napier and Bob coming over the top with the gun.
Yeah.
That's actually cool. Them pulling the gun on each other as like a show of force sort of thing.
Yeah.
He's like, no, don't test me. Do you think I'm not going to kill you sort of thing? That's cool. But it's like the fact that this is happening half a block down an alley from an investigation full into, a crime.
Yeah.
Anyway, we move on. Probably the first sort of plot point of the film is the big fight at Access Chemicals.
Yeah.
Where Grissom has set up Jack Napier. He's tipped off Eckhart. He wants Eckhart to go there, kill Jack Napier in the middle of what is effectively a fake robbery at this point. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on that? Access Chemicals gunfight?
Yeah. It was cool. To a degree, like, it suffers from its time. Yeah. One could say so. The gunfight is very, like, kind of goofy, almost just the way that everyone's shooting with one hand, and like the cops are just like firing at chemicals everywhere, and
not a lot of people taking cover.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of people doing the old protect thyself.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they're crooked cops, I guess.
But even
not the best trained.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. One thing like I was wondering is like the chemicals didn't like seem to affect them. Like they're like shooting all these chemicals and stuff, and they're just shooting. It's
just like
there.
Steam.
Yeah.
It's just like hot steam. Ooh, get out of the steam.
At one point, even I noticed that the Joker, Jack. Which, because why name him differently? He pulls an axe from... Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He pulls an axe from a thing and then smashes a tank, and then a bunch of great literal green goo kind of flies out. And I just noticed, and it was weird that like, he's clearly doing that to, like, either distract or like make sure the cops don't follow him.
Yeah.
And the goo pours all over the floor, and you'll notice the cops like walk into it and starts pouring on their shoes, and they don't react to it.
Yeah.
Like. And supposedly this is the same goop that then makes him the Joker.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to like be
They're not
anything.
Scared. They're not affected by it.
No, they just kind of like stop.
You see huge splashes of it get on the back of his jacket.
Yeah.
2 seconds later, he's run up the stairs and his jacket's dry.
Well, it's dry. It's clearly fast-drying goo, Terrence.
Yeah,
you
obviously.
fool.
I mean, it turns your skin white and your hair green, but it dries on
fast.
the jacket.
Yeah, you know.
So just needed
ups
to
and
be
downs.
wearing a full body jacket. He would have been fine.
Babe hoodie, just zip it all the way up. There you go.
With this as well, like so Eckhart is told by Grissom he's supposed to be killing Jack Napier here.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's there. He knows he's robbing the safe.
Yes.
So he wants to create some sort of confusion in which he can justify shooting him.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what it's supposed to look like. A botched robbery that the cops got tipped off and Jack Napier got killed.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So why is it that when all the criminals, all Jack Napier's dudes are all in that room, as they go to leave, that he's like, we've been ratted out, boys. Watch yourselves.
Yeah.
And they all start leaving. One single cop yells out, freeze! And they all don't freeze because they're mobsters. They take out pistols and start shooting. Why wouldn't Eckhart get his men all in position around that room? Wait till all the mobsters are out. So it's basically a firing squad.
Yeah.
And then say freeze, because they're going to start shooting. All your cops start shooting. Bam, Jack Napier's dead. Movie's over 35 minutes in. Like, that's just like, why isn't that what happened? Like, how bad is that plan? He's like, well, we'll just send one cop up, yell out freeze from a distance, and we'll just play it from there. It's not like Eckhart. He's like wandering down the alley. He's coming up with this. Like not only is he a crooked cop, he's also a very bad one.
Yeah. Is it established as well that all of the cops... That was a Freudian slip if I've ever heard one. Jesus. Don't cut that out. All of the cops are crooked, or is it just Eckhart?
No.
Eckhart.
In the Dark Knight trilogy, we're led to believe that almost all of them are. But in this one, it's really only represented that Eckhart is.
Yeah. So
we have no reason to believe that the average beat cop that we see in this scene, wearing a jacket and having his 6-shooter out, is just a guy trying to do that. Like, he's firing upon them, and he's shooting all the other guys and stuff as well. So I wouldn't have thought so.
So maybe that's your answer. He couldn't make this situation. I mean, we're making excuses for a poorly written script.
Yeah.
but
try to make sense of this.
Yeah, but maybe that's what they were going for. He can't control all of the beat cops because then something would look up. So maybe he just sent one in and heard gunshots. Like, all right, boys, that's where he is. Come on.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I want to talk a bit about what I call the magic bullet.
Right, yes.
Okay,
this mysterious phenomena.
Yeah, right. So I think the worst part about this movie is the first half an hour. Basically what we're talking about now. I think it's the worst part of the movie.
Yeah. I'd agree to that.
And so, first 30 minutes. From the next 90 minutes, I'm entertained enough. But the first 30, not so much. And this is probably what I think is the worst part. So Jack Nicholson shoots Eckhart. He says, hey, Eckhart, think about the future, which is a callback to the conversation they had 7 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And he shoots him and kills him. I'm okay with that because I wasn't loving Eckhart. So now he's dead, so that's great.
Yeah.
Then he turns and he shoots at Batman. Okay, so he's firing a gun directly away from him, straight at a target.
Yeah.
Batman raises his right arm in a full Wonder Woman style.
Yes.
Very DC.
Very much so.
I don't know if we're led to believe he saw the bullet coming or he just has unbelievable anticipation, but he completely deflects the bullet with his arm. The bullet then bounces off the wall. It then goes into Jack Napier's cheek, through his mouth, and out his other cheek.
Does it?
Yes. That's why he needs the plastic surgery to get the smile.
Right.
Wow, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, when you see him hanging, he's got blood on both cheeks.
Huh.
Yeah.
Right.
That's some fucking bullet right there.
Yes.
That goes off an arm, off a wall, and through both cheeks.
Yeah, well.
And then he throws his head back and grabs his... Ah! That's what he's doing. Because he's been shot in the cheeks.
Right, yeah.
I must have watched that movie probably 50 times as a kid and not got that. Because I couldn't believe that that's what's happening, because that's absurd. But that's what's happening. So then when he falls in the chemicals and his skin and everything's all fucked up, he then gets the plastic
Yeah,
surgery to fix them, to cover up the smile. Like the smile is because his cheeks are mutilated.
Exactly.
Which is in The Dark Knight, it's a cut.
Yeah.
It's
why he got those scars.
It's the like Chelsea smile, I believe, is the term when you put a knife in there and do that, and so it's
Depends
from a
where
knife.
you're from. Glasgow smile, Chelsea smile.
Yeah, well, there you go. So then I think that's the worst part of the movie right there. When he gets dropped in the chemicals and everything.
I would disagree, but it's not the best part.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Like, did you get that from that? Is
Well,
that
clearly not.
Am I way off? Like, as I'm saying that, does that sound wrong?
No, it sounds right. Like, I saw it happen, but it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have, like, hearing that now, they definitely could have done that better.
Yeah.
There could be an infinite amount of situations where he just normally gets shot through the cheeks. Like, someone's got a gun to his head and he moves backwards and you know, like before he falls or something like that, you know.
It didn't even have to be that. It could have just been from the chemicals.
Yeah.
Because his plan, which is sort of the next point I've got on here, is the Smilex, his drug plan. You know, he puts it in hairspray, he puts it in lipstick, so on and so forth. And when you mix them, bada bing, bada boom, you've got the problem. So, like, they're getting that from just using the drugs, but he has the smashed up cheeks.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's why I didn't even register the bullet thing, because it is established later on that it does make you have weird smiles.
Exactly. So, which brings me to my next question. What do you think of the Smilex drug sort of plan?
I really liked it.
Yeah?
I think it was cool. Like, all of it, the whole thing, from the start to when he first gets the stuff. Like, I had this written down in my notes, but it's really nice. There's a lot of, in that plan, there's a lot of show, don't tell, which I know you personally love.
Yeah.
But, like, when they first introduce, like, before he even talks about the plan, where, we'll get onto this later, but, like, when the mob guy brings him photos of Vicky Vale and he cuts it out.
Yeah.
Like, just before that, there's a desk, and on the desk there's a bunch of pictures from, like, a war or something, with a bunch of like soldiers who like have these creepy smiles, and it's all in black and white and stuff. And so that's like a precursor of showing like there's something weird going on. There's like maybe a gas or something that's causing this, and it's a bit out of context until later on when they when he goes to the facility and like, ship him out. Have you shipped 1,000 yet? So yeah, I really like that. And then the ad where he like takes over in a very, this guy's been using brand X.
Yeah, that was the next thing I had. What did you think of the Smilex ads? I fucking love them.
I really like that bit.
My favourite bit is the brand X thing is gold. When he's sitting on the beach and he's on the hammock and there's the fake seagull on his shoulder that never moves, and it's in the shot way too long, so it's clearly fake and he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
It's what you would expect from the Joker. Yeah. Like if you're looking at like classic, you know, crazy man doing this weird shit Joker. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I agree with Sean. The whole ad is very like Joker style.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
It also makes you think in Dark Knight when he sends videos to the cops, Heath Ledger filmed them. Yeah, and there's like the one where it's upside down. The guy's reading off the cards and they're dropping upside down because it's been reversed. Like that's the same kind of thing. Like that's what that is. It's almost a callback, an homage, if you like, to that. Those ads, like the Joker stealing TV for just 30 seconds and just like
definitely
turning the world on its head, sort of thing.
Oh yeah, and I was going to say, I forgot to mention this. When the news reporters are talking about it, they. Like, after the first day or whatever, when they go back, like, they're all, like, messed up and they've got pimples all over their face. So it's like, they don't mention it. Like, they say, it has been reported to be in lipstick, various makeup, baby powder. Yeah. And I just like the idea that it's, like, showing that everyone's kind of in a state of panic. Yeah. Even the news reporters aren't wearing anything because they're so afraid. But they never say, like, you know.
But you know who is wearing it? Kim Basinger through the whole film.
Yeah.
She's, like... 10 out of 10 for the whole movie because she's covered in makeup.
You know.
Speaking of which, the art gallery museum scene, the whole repainting, Joker comes in, gasses everyone except her with the little mask as a present sort of thing. What are we thinking of that? Because I'm loving that scene.
I liked it. Is it a Prince song that's playing?
Yeah. Prince does all the songs
all the
you hear in the
music,
movie is him. Every song. The theme is the Batman theme.
Definitely,
but the song is... Yeah, he did the entire soundtrack. The song is called Party Man.
Party Man. Of course it is.
Party Man.
That's it, yeah.
That's him doing that. Yeah. So at the start when he says, Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence, and Lawrence hits play. That's the song, yeah.
Yeah. I love that scene. It's very, like, campy and very fun.
That's the Adam West Joker.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm obsessed with, like, writing, but Joker, when he writes his name, Joker was here. He does it really well for like a brush.
Yeah,
I just.
Yeah, Joker has excellent penmanship.
He does.
A compliment's a compliment, man.
Yeah,
I don't care who he's killing. Good penmanship is nice to see.
Yeah, and then he goes through the thing. Yeah, it's just a fun campy scene, and then like it takes that very quick dark turn, like when he brings out mask. Alicia.
Yeah, and she's wearing the mask. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, which there's a great line he says there. Well, there's a couple actually. When Vicky Vale says to him, "You're insane," and he says, "Oh, I thought I was a Pisces." That's fucking
I really
great.
like that reply.
And when he's sort of explaining what he's doing and why Alicia's face is all messed up and she's wearing the mask, he says, "I'm the world's first fully functioning homicidal artist." That's cool. That's a great line. I'm glad that there actually isn't those people in the world, but that's a cool idea.
Yeah. I also enjoyed, like at the start when he sits down and she says, "What do you want?" He says, "My face on the $1 bill."
My face.
Maybe I'm reading too deep, but I like the idea that like he wants to be remembered.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Well, he's making art. He thinks he's making art that'll last forever, so to speak.
And like even before that, he points to whatever American president, George Washington, and he says, "Face on the $1 bill."
Yeah, he points to and
then they paint it up and that stuff. Yeah, I like that. I also really liked the statue head that the guy's painting.
Yeah, he puts lipstick on it and paints green hair on it.
Like
that's cool.
What about you, Alvin? Back to you.
I like the goons where they're like all playing around and just painting and stuff.
They're just chaos.
Yeah. And how like Batman just jumps out from the ceiling and then saves what's her name, Vicky.
Yeah, he kind of spoils the fun though. Let's be honest, he's a party pooper. I mean, Joker's about to mutilate Vicky Vale's face.
Yeah,
say what you will about the Dark Knight, he is a party pooper.
Yeah,
always.
I'm about that.
Every party.
So this scene leads to a car chase. So this is when we get our first real look at the Batmobile. Batman goes outside. He jump in the car, and she's like, "Which one?" It's like the fucking Batmobile.
Yeah,
come on, Vicky, don't you know Batman?
Yeah, I'll get in the Batmobile. There's like a Ford Fiesta over there. I'll just hop in that.
Don't worry, it's got a reinforced sunroof. Yeah, fine. So they hop in the Batmobile. They go hooning down the streets of Gotham.
As you do.
He uses a grappling hook to take a really sharp turn. Which apparently Joker-mobiles can't do.
No, of course not.
Because they just get stacked and racked at the end of that alley. And of course, we have the old trope of like, there's a fruit van and all these other people.
Straight
like,
through,
that just happen to be on the road at the exact time as those cars are hooning past. And it's like a 71 car pile up because the Batmobile took a left-hand turn quicker than the Joker-mobiles could.
Yeah.
What are we thinking? Good car chase, bad car chase.
It's as good as it could be. Like, this wasn't Blues
this
Brothers.
Movie,
yeah, like it wasn't.
But Blues Brothers is 9 years before this.
Yeah, but they had more road.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Even like for the design of Gotham, and we'll go in a bit more about the design. But I think for like the way everything's set up, it was all right.
Yeah. I can't help but with something like this because I'm a car chase guy. I love it when there's a good action movie has a good car chase. I think that's sick.
Yeah.
And we were talking before, The Dark Knight, I think that has the best car chase of that trilogy in it, where they sort of go underground and he's firing different weapons and they're, don't worry, we're reinforced, that he gets the bazooka out. But, like, that's sick, and it ends with that truck being flipped upon itself. Like,
the famous car chase that broke a red camera that's like $50 bajillion.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them in the world now. There's only 2 because you fucking broke it. Yeah, you compared like
IMAX camera, not a red camera.
Yeah, the difference between those car chases is an ocean.
Definitely.
It is. I mean, the movies obviously they're really really different. We know that.
Yeah,
but I'm not a fan of that car chase.
Yeah. Like, the Batmobile's cool and all, but, like, there's no way they can catch up with the Batmobile. Like,
and yet, Joker's car lasts longer.
Exactly.
Because Batman nearly crashes into a dirt mover thing, whatever you call them, with the thing, and he stops it, and then as they're running away, the Joker car is just fine, and it's chasing them down the street. I did like the shields though. Shield on.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Just
that's
in
cool.
case some hoon like draws a dick and balls in the dust on the Batmobile.
Draws some dick and balls on it. Yeah, fuck you, Batman.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. We end up at Vicky's apartment when Bruce Wayne goes there to sort of apologise for avoiding her, and then he's sort of, trying to... He wants to tell her, I'm Batman. He wants to say it. I'm Batman to her.
When he goes thing, you know how when a normal person wakes
When
up...
a man and a woman love each other very much,
They walk out the door and they kind of
like,
going nowhere.
And she's like, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about right now. And then the Joker interrupts. Bruce Wayne sort of hides for a minute. He comes out. He grabs the. He hides the bit of metal under his shirt. I'm thinking like I don't see this working at all. Like I don't see this tiny little tray stopping a bullet. I also think he ran the risk of getting shot anywhere else but the tiny tray. Like it's not covering even his whole torso. Have a video, get shot in the face. He's just dead then.
Yeah.
Like. What are you thinking?
Oh, actually, I don't like the part. But when the Joker comes in and then like Bruce Wayne's talking to him, and then he gets real aggressive all of a sudden.
Yeah,
I thought that was out of character a bit.
Yeah. I guess he's trying to antagonize him.
I did wonder where he was going with that, because I can understand trying to separate Batman and Bruce Wayne. Even like all movies kind of do that when it comes to Batman. But yeah, it was just weird for him to say, so I knew this guy Jack, he was a bad kid.
Yeah.
And then
he got into a lot of violence, and Joker goes, I like him already.
Yeah. And then
That's all right,
he grabs the fire poker and smashes the thing, and let's get that
he goes from 0 to 100 too quick.
Also, I didn't understand why any of that was important.
Yeah. It's a bit of a nothing scene. The only thing that changes in the plot there is that Vicky Vale thinks Bruce Wayne is dead.
But she
then he leaves.
doesn't, because his body disappears, and it's like,
So because Joker doesn't give a shit because he's still trying to catch Batman, and at this point he doesn't know they're one and the same.
He didn't know who Bruce Wayne was until he met him that day.
Yeah, exactly. She says Bruce, and he goes, "Oh, Bruce Wayne. Oh,
yeah,
exactly."
He doesn't even remember killing Bruce's parents. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Batman's parents are dead. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of benefit from that, and the scene ends, if you recall, when Joker he says a rhyme and then he leaves. Vicky Vale then goes to open the present that he gave.
Yeah, and a hand jumps out.
Yeah, and it's there's like musical, and she goes, oh, and falls to the ground.
Yeah, sort of
Why
like
the fuck is that in the movie?
Scare. I don't know. Funnily enough, I was watching the whole movie. I was watching with my roommate back home, and he literally jumped scared from that scene.
Really?
Yeah, and this is a big buff weightlifting boy, and he went
God.
So that was funny for me for other reasons.
Yeah, right. So you got something out of that scene, but not out of the scene.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll move along. The Joker's parade. So the mayor has decided he's going to cancel the 200 bicentennial festival.
Yes.
And Joker sort of steals the TV and says, no, that's not happening. I'm a good guy. I'm going to give out millions of dollars. And he says, I like this line, he says, we're going to do the old Dukaroo with me in one corner and the Bat in the other corner. Yeah. And he's like, if he's, I'm going to take off my mask, hopefully he's not too scared to take off his sort of thing.
Yeah.
So then we cut to the parade. He comes out, and the song, by the way, is Trust. That's another Prince song. Trust. That starts playing.
That's a good,
it's
song
great
for that.
Yeah, it's perfect. And he comes out dancing.
Yeah.
That's great. I said before, I was critical of the Axis Chemicals magic bullet scene. But this deserves praise. I reckon this is the best scene. I reckon the parade scene where he comes out doing that and throwing the money, I think it's funny, it's catchy, it's colourful. We see the execution of his plan. I'm not a big believer in the plan. I don't think that the floats producing the gas is actually going to affect people. I mean, you think of how small those gas canisters were and how big the city is. Are people going to be breathing in enough to die? It's I just don't see the great... I mean, he's throwing the money, which attracts the people. I get that. So he's attracting the people he's trying to kill. But the gas is overhead.
Exactly.
So it's going to float down and everyone's going to breathe it in. I'm just not convinced that's going to happen. I mean, it's a movie.
And as we all know from science, gas fills the volume of the container it is in.
Well, right. There you go. And they're small-ass containers.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you think? Are you buying into the Joker's plan here?
I think as campy movie plans go, it was all right. It made sense. to a degree. It was foiled unbelievably easily by the Bat. But I liked the idea of the Joker, more the idea of the plan than the plan itself, of the Joker like making everybody think he's a good guy by feeding into the greed of Gotham, which the reporter guy talks about. He says to Vicky, take a picture. We'll call it, the
Gotham's
greed.
greed.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that idea that...
And he's telling her to take a picture. She's a photographer.
Yeah.
She's got a camera in her fucking hand. What do you think she's doing, mate? Like, what do you think she's doing? And he's like, make sure you get that. What, the whole thing? Cheers. Like, how less helpful is he in that moment?
He's a reporter. He reports. He doesn't
I write
picture.
the stories and taking the pictures.
Indeed.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, I do like the setup that in almost every kind of Batman film that Gotham is somewhat of a corrupt city, if not by its, by the people doing crime, but more by the morals of the people.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Parade scene? You loving it or not?
It wasn't a bad scene, but like I think it was like during like the outbreak of the gas.
Yeah.
And like how Knox is like beating up the goons or whatever.
Yeah. So he's got a gas mask on to protect himself, and he karate chops his boot
mask.
open.
Yeah. He's got like a mask you wear when there's a dust storm. Like that thing doesn't protect against gas.
Yeah, right. And then he's hitting the goons so that they'll let the floaties go into the air, which pulls the gas away. Yeah. That's his plan, theoretically.
I'm not sure, but did Vicky run him over with the car?
So then he
drives out and he jumps on the car.
Yeah, she's like, fuck it, I'm gone. She's going to light it up. She doesn't want none of this. She knows a bad thing when she sees it.
Yeah.
It's because she's a photographer. And then, he ends up on the bottom. I'm not sure if she takes him out or if he dives on there because she's driving away to get out.
She's driving away and he kind of like jumps onto it.
Right.
She doesn't know he's doing that, so he jumps and she goes, ah! And then she like stops the car and he, crashes into a bunch of bins and shit and then passes out.
Yeah. Even though he's like, there's like feathers laying around and stuff. I wasn't the biggest fan of that.
Yeah.
That was a rough end. Oh, we've got to talk about what I think is probably the funniest fucking thing. So the Batwing comes hooning in, right? Batwing comes in and it has the exact perfect tool to dispose of floaties that are using gas with the scissors at the front. What are the chances? Batman, talk about your premonition there. And so he gets rid of those things and Joker's going, they're my balloons. He stole my balloons.
Yeah.
He's like, why didn't somebody tell me he had one of those things? Yeah. And he's cracked it. He's flipping out. And Bob's there. He goes, Bob, gun. Bob hands him the gun and he just shoots Bob. Yeah. I'm laughing my ass off at this point. That's probably why I think this is the best scene, personally, because I think that's the best laugh.
Yeah.
And I think like him dancing to the music was cool. So that's probably why I've like, if you said to me, I can only watch one scene of this again, I'd watch the best joke.
Yeah.
That's what I would watch because I don't think that the fights are good enough that I'm like, oh, I'm watching that fight. Or the car chase, definitely I will watch the car. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, like if, again, and we've said it before, I'll say it again, if I compare this to The Dark Knight, the only thing I think this movie does better is it's funnier.
Yeah, definitely.
So therefore, if I'm going to rewatch a scene out of this, I'm going to watch the jokes. I'm watching
the Joker scenes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Batwing. What are you thinking? Good, or is it like you're not loving it?
That's the introduction of the Batwing. It's very unceremonious. It just kind of comes into shot, and you're like, oh, there's the flying car. Like
it's like, we know it exists, but in this universe, this is it.
Even in the actual the Dark Knight series, the Batwing doesn't exist until the last movie, and it only comes out at the end. Yeah, and Jamie Foxx. Not Jamie Foxx.
Lucius?
Lucius Fox is like, oh, it's untested. And,
the autopilot doesn't work. Don't use it. Yeah.
This isn't going to play into the movie later on.
Foreshadowing much?
Yeah. I just think, the Batwing, from the perspective of someone who likes the comics, not that I'm really into the Batman comics, but I know about them. The Batwing is such an iconic, you've got the Batmobile and then the Batwing, and those are the two big ones.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, oh, and this thing exists as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of that. Also, speaking of unceremonious, the way he shot Bob, the guy, it was a bit quick.
Bob the Goon, yeah.
I wasn't a big fan. Like the way it's just the acting of it. It was a bit rushed in my opinion. Like the way he just like goes like, and like his hand doesn't quite go up, and it's just a bit not lazy, but it just seems like they could have done another better take of that.
Right.
Yeah, I think the Batwing is cool and all, but like it gets shot down in one shot.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was another thing I wanted to talk about. So the Joker pulls out his gun and it's a pistol.
It's a long boy.
And he extends the barrel, which doesn't make the gun more powerful.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. It makes it more accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it far more... It means he could, but he doesn't... It's not like he spends, he has got a scope and he takes his time, breathes out and squeezes the trigger gently and makes a critical shot. He just extends the barrel and it's like for lols.
Yeah.
And the entire Batwing is completely destroyed. Kind of makes you think, so any goon could have made that shot before he pinched all of the floaties?
Maybe.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's all he did. Yeah?
Yeah.
So...
That's...
And isn't it like an armoured thing?
Yeah.
It's like, the Batmobile's got shields.
Yeah.
But the Batwing is like very susceptible to gunfire.
Yeah.
Single 45.
Yeah. Like minimal pistol fire, which it should be fine at taking on.
Yeah.
This is basically,
I do like when he pulls it out of his pants. I think that's quite
That's
funny.
does.
Like when he pulls the long, ridiculously.
like it's been down there the whole time.
Yeah.
Despite the fact he's clearly been dancing on the float.
Yeah.
And quite hilarious.
Is that a gun in your pants? You're just happy to see me, Joker.
Yeah, right. The Batwing stacks and it lands on the stairs of the cathedral. We then have the cathedral climb. So Joker goes up the stairs and he says, "I'll meet me at the top in 5 minutes." And he sort of looks, sees how tall it is. Better make that 10 because it's obviously Batman pursues them. You digging that? Because I feel like it slows down a lot there. Like we've just had this massive, we've had what I think is a funny, exciting part of the movie.
Yeah.
Then we've had a big crash. Then we spend minutes walking upstairs.
Yeah.
Couldn't he use like a grapple hook? Like
Yeah.
he uses it in the movie, so why didn't he use it there?
Yeah, like Batman, just scale it.
Exactly.
Just get up there. Because he uses it when he's falling down to not fall. Could he have not used it to get up? Once they get to the top...
Yeah, then it picks up.
It does.
Yeah.
I actually like that fight. I like Batman having to fight 3 or 4 goons.
It's very Battle Royale with Bruce Lee when he goes up the Tower of Death or something like that. Where he fights like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Is that the boss?
Maybe, I don't know. It's where he wears the classic Bruce
yellow
Lee jumpsuit.
Yeah, the yellow
but
with the black.
It reminded me kind of that. Like he has to go up these levels and fight all these guys. But one funny thing about that scene, it's funny to me because it's so ridiculous and yet I don't think they planned it, is just when Batman enters the cathedral door. And speaking of, I did like that shot. The kind of like Dutch angle of like the high up on Batman opening the doors, like that was really cool. But then he walks like 5 feet and trips onto like the pews, and then the domino effect.
Yeah,
I laughed out loud. Like no, I wasn't like belly laughing, but I went like, and my roommate even commented like that was funny. I just found it funny because it's so ridiculous. Like this brooding, dark Batman guy, he trips over and causes this big domino effect. Like that's like a very goofy thing to do.
And he's like, "Fuck it, I'm not fixing them."
Yeah, that's like something you'd see in like a slapstick, Dumb and Dumber humor.
Yeah.
And just the way it's shot, like when he falls, they cut to like a side shot to show the domino effect. And clearly, if you look at the cut, it's a different cut. So clearly they planned for that to happen.
Yeah,
but it's
stacked
just,
them up again and got off from a different angle.
Yeah, it's just so kind of out of place for me for Batman. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, like what does that mean? What does it tell us? Like, oh, he's shaken up from the crash. That's shaken up because then he walks up 70 flights of stairs.
Like he's fine. He's
and
not
beats
like
up 3 dudes.
Quivering.
So he's okay.
He's not like so.
Yeah.
And we have to mention, not only does he beat up 3 dudes, he fucking kills one of them.
Yeah.
This rendition of Batman does not give a fuck. If you recall, he Batmobiled into one of the Joker's labs and fucking bombed the shit out of like 150 dudes. This guy has a fucking body count against him. Like this isn't Batman doesn't want to kill people.
No guns, no killing.
He drops basically 4 mini nukes, and destroys an entire factory full of workers.
The Axis chemical plant pops in
not
again.
necessarily all of them are evil. Some of these guys are just on payroll.
I'm sure there was just general Axis chemical employee, just family, kids. He's just like, another day at the factory, and he's like, no, I'm fucking dead.
Like what the fuck? And then he just fucking kills, like lets this guy drop like 150 bajillion stories down a fucking bell tower to his death. Not to mention later on he kills the Joker as well. I like this version of Batman because like he's not afraid to kill people. Yeah. But I feel like not killing people is very much a quintessential part of Batman.
It's his mantra.
Yeah. And it's not like in like The Dark Knight where he doesn't kill people, but then he causes massive car accidents that probably killed a bunch of people. Yeah. This is like he actively kills at very least he definitely kills that guy in the bell tower. Yeah. But you see that there's goons when he's got the car. Like the car drives out of the explosion. It's already happened. Yeah. No one had a chance to run away.
Yeah, those guys they ain't getting out. Yeah. We've already seen how interwoven the little alleys and nooks and crannies are from the gunfight an hour and a half earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, those people aren't escaping, they're dead.
It just feels
and they're covered in chemicals and they're Jokers 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6.
It just kind of feels a bit like, where were you going with this? Yeah. Because he tries to save the Joker. So, like, that's established that he doesn't want to kill people. And, like, when he's got that goon, like, he punches people out and, you know, he's got that goon holding him, like, at the very start. And he's like, I'm not going to drop you. Tell your friends that the Batman's coming. Yeah. Like, so it's...
He's trying to put the fear of God.
Yeah. It's trying to show that he doesn't kill people. And yet, he actively kills these people. So I'm not sure where they're trying to go with the morals of Batman during that. And I don't remember the second movie as well with the Penguin and all that. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't kill people in that one, but I don't know. It just seems like a bit of a wrong direction. Like, I like it, but also it's like...
Doesn't suit.
Yeah, Batman doesn't kill people. That's his thing. That's his meme, you know. He's dead parents and he doesn't kill people. That's the two things Batman has. That's what I like and didn't like about that particular bit up until the Joker thing.
Fair call. What do you think, big fella?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like how when, like, someone falls off, like, an edge and then you look over and then, boom, it got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I feel like that's...
You know what that is? That's really comic book.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a bit played out, but then again, was it that played out then?
Well, this is 89. Like, you think that's a long time ago?
I didn't exist, neither did Alan. You know, we didn't exist 89.
But there's, like, a heap of really violent action movies that came out just before this. So the whole, like... You know, landing on the ledge and just grabbing on and that sort of thing, like, definitely done.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you mention it because Batman does it. He gets pushed down and then, he uses his legs to trap that guy and flip him down. Then the Joker does it.
Yeah.
The Joker gets punched off and he falls over the top and then they peek over and then he reaches up with both hands and grabs one of their hands.
Yeah.
So, like...
As you do.
So he's standing on something at that point. Okay. So he's done sort of a flip, landed on his feet, and had the wherewithal to reach back up and grab them when they peeked over. Like that is tremendous acrobatics for what is like Jack Nicholson's got to come to like 50 in this movie.
Yeah. He's not a young man.
Yeah.
Definitely that whole bit. Like it's sort of cool. Like I did like the bit with where Joker's got Vicky Vale and he shoots the gun and it has the bang.
Yeah.
I did like that because that's a very classic Joker thing to have a bang gun. It
certainly is, yeah.
Yeah, that ending was a bit meh.
Yeah. So you're talking like him trying to get on the helicopter and the gargoyle thing on his foot?
Yeah. And then again, Batman kills Joker. He's not like, oh yeah, this will tether him and then we'll pick him up later. No, it's either the helicopter and the weight of the statue will rip him in half or that statue's going to bring him down.
Yeah,
like, you know,
or he's
there's no way that the Joker's getting out of this alive.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
There's some continuity errors in this movie. There's actually a lot of there's there's a lot of them. There's actually too many to mention. Tim Burton is sort of renowned for he goes for the good shot, like as in this is a good shot.
Yeah.
Over the top of continuity.
Yeah.
And he's more. I think he's more interested in it looks good and it's a movie. It's supposed to look good rather than worrying about, for example, like. This is just an example when Jack Napier uses the axe in Axis Chemicals. chemical spills out everywhere and it clearly gets all over his jacket, and then 2 seconds later his jacket's dry.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like, that's a continuity error. It's not a big one. It doesn't change the plot of the movie, but it's clearly a continuity, and there are heaps of them. So, are we noticing this? Do you care? Are you more interested in the shots looking good?
Personally, none of them were noticeable. For me, none of them were noticeable enough that I'm like, oh, they fucked up in that shot. Yeah,
right.
Like, I think, like, the movie itself is very fast-paced.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of... It's almost chaotic in the way everything's, like, it slows down and then speeds up and slows down and then speeds up. But everything happens fairly quickly. Nothing really affected me as enough to... Like, if you told me that if, like, we were watching and you pointed something out, I would notice it. But just in general viewing, like, I've seen it 2 times now, I didn't really notice anything.
Right.
Outside of that one shot where he tips over the pews, because I noticed that they start to fall, and then when they cut, they start to fall again.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Yeah, it kind of annoyed me because, like, where the scene where the Joker is having, like, a meeting with all, like,
That's the rest of the mob.
Yeah, the rest of the mob, and, like,
this is after he's killed Grissom.
Yeah, and then he has the hand buzzer and kills the dude. He's just standing there, like, there's no reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the very start, like, he's like, oh, this is a bit...
And do you think he's standing there because they're going to put that effect on him in post, so they've told him not to move too much?
Yeah, that could be it.
Like, they've said to him, like, make a face, but don't move your body.
I guess.
Because we're going to add in the effect, like, in your neck to make it look like you're getting cooked in post, and if you move around a lot, we've got to... It makes our job harder.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and that's when he toasts... Yeah. I'm glad you're dead. I'm glad you're dead. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, and he has that conversation with him. You know, your friends, they're all right. What? You want me to grease them now? Oh, you're a sick son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too bad. All right, another question. How do you guys feel about how Gotham was represented in this? Because again, and I'm referring to the Dark Knight trilogy again because it's pretty impossible to talk about Batman and not talk about those films. I think those movies were shot predominantly in Chicago.
Yes.
So they've just used a city. Like, they're just using a city. Gotham doesn't have any sort of architecture that's different or specific other than Batman Begins that has the train that Thomas Wayne built the train. Other than that, none of those movies really have anything that you're like, oh yeah, that's a typical Gotham sort of thing.
Yeah.
But this movie does.
It's a very distinct Gotham.
This movie has huge sets and costume, like the police wearing those big leather jackets, for example, the way like everyone's dressed and so on and so forth. So... You're liking it? You're not liking it?
I personally liked this rendition of Gotham because it was very cramped, and at first I didn't like it. Like, reflecting on it, it's a nice, like, representation of Gotham, because a lot of people would say that in, not every Batman, but in a lot of the Batman movies, Gotham is its own character. Like, Gotham is a reflection of the people, and the people are a reflection of what Batman is trying to do. He's trying to make things better, but he's doing it in, like, you know, he's beating people up. He's taking out the crime in bad ways to scare the crime, to then, like, help the people. It's like ruling through fear kind of thing. This rendition of the Gotham, and I've got a little quote for you boys.
Yeah,
I know.
Quote corners with Shawnee Day.
Gotham City's design was described by the art director as what New York might have been without a planning commission, which I thought when you look at it, definitely, because everything's cramped, everything's packed in. There's like pipes and shit, leading to places. The streets are tiny, and everything looks so cramped. Even like the sets outside of the interior of the apartments of people, which are actually very spacious when you look at them. But yeah, everything's like very cramped and very packed in. And I like that, you know, showing that Gotham, it's a busy, bustling city.
Grimy.
You know, it's dirty, it's grimy, it's riddled with crime and, you know, corrupt cops and like shitty things. You know, it's run by the mob and, you know, there's so much happening in it that I liked it. I like this rendition of Gotham. It was very unique as opposed to, you know, later on the thing, just using a normal city and then putting like a big Wayne Tower in the middle of it or a train station.
Right.
And you'll notice another fun fact for you is that when Vicky Vale's looking at the plans for Gotham City, like in the middle of the movie, that map is actually a map of Vancouver.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, so they couldn't even make a real map of the city.
Yeah, right. Well, they did win the Oscar, as I mentioned, for Best Art Direction, Set Decoration. So that guy that you said is saying that. Like, I guess he knows best. He won the Oscar.
Definitely.
I really like the set. It looks like Gotham. It's like how I would imagine what Gotham would look like really dark and grimy.
So we've covered most of the film. I want to get your opinion on some different things. Best scene, worst scene.
I got a worst scene for you.
All right. Go on. Hit me with worst then.
The worst scene in the whole film is ironically the introduction of Vicky Vale. I hated that scene because her and the reporter guy...
And Alexander Knox?
Yeah, Alexander Knox. I hated that scene because it's so quick.
Yeah.
He walks... it's literally just after he goes to the crime scene, then he goes back and put him in the back. This is Pulitzer Prize winning material.
Yeah, and everyone's making fun of him.
Yeah. And then he goes to his desk, and there's Vicky Vale, and she's like, I like your work. And he's like, oh, yeah, Vicky Vale, blah, blah, blah. And then it's basically like, all right, let's work together.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's no chemistry. There's nothing between them.
Hello, legs.
Yeah. That scene, I hated it. It's so quick. Yeah. It doesn't establish... in, the integrity of the characters, doesn't establish anything. It's just like, oh, we need a reason for Vicky Vale to be following Batman. Let's just, smash her into...
Tag her on the back of the reporter who's already obsessed with her. Yeah. I didn't hate it.
I really hated it with a passion. It's so quick. It's so quick. It's literally 5 minutes of, back and forth, and then, all right, let's work together. That's it. They're in such a close-knit working relationship that he cares about her enough to, worry about her. Yeah. They don't establish that in that scene. Yeah. She's very, he believes that she's making fun of him. He's like, okay, who are you working for? And then she's like, no, I really like your stuff. And then they just start working together.
And then they're partners.
I really hated that.
Best scene?
For me, the best scene is probably the gallery scene, the museum thing. Yeah. Just because of how fun and how playful it is. And, so much happens in it. Yeah. It really helps to establish the Joker. He's crazy, but he's smart. He wants to do this insane thing, but he does it methodically, Even the face reveal, he's got the human paint on, and then she splashes water in his face. And then, he goes, boo. That was all cool. But another scene... I really enjoy, this is the tiniest thing that I thought was quite funny, is when Vicky Vale and Batman are driving to the Batcave. Yeah. And she's asking him questions and is not responding. And then she looks at him and starts to stare at him and is, trying to work out his face. Yeah. And then Batman, side glances at her, looks forward and turns on a light. He just happens to have a light that shines directly in the eyes of the passenger. Yeah. Just in case he has a passenger who doesn't know who he is. Yeah. I just liked that because he's
anticipated this.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous that's the entire purpose of that, just to shine in someone's eyes so they're like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not looking at Batman anymore. I liked it because it was so just dumb and funny. That best scene for me, just to bring it back, worst scene definitely Vicky Vale and
Alexander Knox.
I'm not going to remember his name. They don't say it. Apparently, going back on the thing, was it Fox who made this movie?
It's a Warner Brothers movie.
Yeah, that's right. Warner Brothers. Apparently they liked that character so much, he was supposed to die during the first gas scene with the balloons. He was supposed to die during that. And the Warner Brothers production company liked the character so much that they wanted him to be alive throughout the rest of the film. Right. Which, sure, he's sort of funny, but I don't know. But yeah. Worst scene for me, Vicky Vale and Alexander
Knox.
Hamilton. And best scene, definitely Joker Gallery. I love that scene.
Yeah, right.
All right, Alvin.
My worst scene is probably either when Joker visits Vicky Vale's apartment.
Yeah, that's not a great scene.
Or the date with Vicky Vale and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, right.
The start, where they're at the soup table thingy? Yeah.
And then they end up talking, Alfred's telling stories and shit. Yeah, right.
I didn't really like those scenes.
So then you didn't really like the relationship between the two of them then? As in the love interest side of Bruce Wayne and Vicky Vale you weren't a big fan of?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. Best scene?
Probably the parade. I think
Yeah.
I quite like that scene a lot. Like, it was very, like, Joker style.
Yeah. He had complete control. Yeah.
Yeah, and the music was great.
Music was sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Prince.
I agree with you on best scene. That's my best scene too. And because, like, yeah, again, music's sick. Him dancing's funny.
Yeah.
And then when I'm counting when Batman swoops in and steals the things, and he's like, "He stole my balloons."
Yeah.
And then he says, "Why didn't you tell me one of those things?" And then he shoots Bob. So that's my favorite bit. And worst scene for me is the magic bullet.
Magic Bullet.
I
That
think
really took you out of it.
I think it's the single worst part of this film. Like, here's why. I think it's the most unbelievable part. It's the furthest they're getting me to believe that could happen.
Yeah.
I believe that a person who says, I'm going to give out millions of dollars and hold my own parade and poison everyone, I believe that is more likely than a bullet bouncing off someone's arm, off a wall, and going through their cheeks.
Yeah.
So that's best and worst
that
for me.
is like that step beyond reality.
Another question: missed opportunity. What did you think was missed? Because for me, it's Harvey Dent. Because Harvey Dent's in the movie, the character's there. He's never Two-Face, and we know that he can be, and that can work with the whole Joker story because it's done in a different movie much better.
Yeah.
So that's my missed opportunity. But it can be anything. It doesn't have to be a character. Is there something else that you think they let themselves down here?
During that parade scene, do you know who Dick Grayson is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dick Grayson is the first Robin, the first rendition
OJ
of Robin.
Rob.
Plan was they're originally going to have Dick Grayson in that parade, and his backstory is his family were the Flying Graysons, which were like a trapeze act, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And they were supposed to be doing trapeze acts like the family, and then the Joker kills his parents, because that's what happened in the books. Then Dick Grayson becomes Robin. So what they were going to do originally was have that happen. So they were going to have Joker kill Dick Grayson's parents, and then at the end of the movie they were going to have like a sneaky little Robin preview,
so
kind of like they did in the latest Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
So I think that would have been cool. And apparently I want to say Kiefer Sutherland was going to be Dick Grayson. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's correct, but it was someone alive.
Rumored to be. Yeah, right.
And they had plans for that, but they didn't do it. But in terms of like people in the movie.
Well, see, if that was in that and that was done well. So imagine if Harvey Dent that I'm saying they missed out on, imagine if he's in there and there's less of Knox. Yeah?
Yeah.
And they do that little Robin as just a little...
Yeah,
just there you go.
a little
Easter egg for you. That's such a better movie.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, also I agree, Billy D is Harvey Dent, which is awesome because, I mean, it would have been a lot to have Two-Face and the Joker. Like, because the Joker is such a
loud character.
Yeah. Especially for that, that time. Like, they did it later on in the films. And even then, a lot of people argue that they could have been their own thing, each one of them. But
they could have done 8 of those movies and covered.
Yeah. They didn't do a lot. But then I do like the idea that they introduce Harvey Dent as a character in the world. I mean, I don't know much about the Batman lore, but I like that idea that he exists anyway without the Two-Face thing.
Yeah, like he's just a man trying to do the right thing to be the DA before it happens.
Yeah, even in The Dark Knight, I believe in Batman Begins or whatever, they do introduce Harvey Dent as a person, but he's like in a flyer. Like it doesn't, it's like a Easter egg, if anything.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of having Harvey Dent in the world already, doing a political campaign without the need for the Two-Face persona just yet. Yeah. I liked that, but then, they could have done more, because he's only in, like, 2 scenes. He's at the start, and then he's at the Wayne party, and then he's at later on when Joker does his, takes control of the TV, I'm going to give out millions this day. So he's not in it a lot.
No.
He's not a huge character, but, anyway.
What about you? Missed opportunity. What would you have liked to have seen you didn't?
Don't know if it's a missed opportunity, but like Batman himself, he was more clumsy than cool.
Right.
He wasn't really Batman, he was more of a clown.
So you think the missed opportunity was how he was played? And are you saying that's actor or that's direction?
Probably a bit of both.
Because when Michael Keaton was chosen, the knock on him was that he's not big enough to be Batman and that he's not suave enough to be Bruce Wayne.
Because at that point, he'd only been in, like, comedy movies.
Correct. And the big movie he did before this was Beetlejuice with this director, which is, we've touched...
We haven't touched on it yet, so look out for that episode.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what he did before this.
Apparently, the production company got like thousands of letters of actual Batman fans complaining that
Yeah.
Michael Keaton is not right for this role.
Yeah.
And they still fucking put him in. Yeah.
So Alvin would have been one of those people, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Then we got a letter from the human robot.
So you would have preferred someone else to play Batman?
Yeah.
So you're saying casting-wise, that's a missed opportunity?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's a fair call.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that agree with you.
Yeah.
Best supporting character. Me and Alvin have already talked about this, and we have the same one.
Okay.
So I want to get you to go first.
Oh God, I gotta think. I don't know who's yours.
Well,
We'll start with you guys.
Alvin and I have gone for Bob the Goon.
Yeah.
In fact, I actually think if you think about it, Joker and Bob's relationship progresses throughout the film from when the first time we see Eckhart approach the Joker and Bob jumps over his shoulder with the gun.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, so he's Grissom's right-hand man, but I'm his. And I'm here. And then at the Access Chemicals thing, when Batman picks Joker up, it's Bob that puts a gun to the commissioner and he says, you put him down or I'll do Gordon.
Yeah.
It's like Bob's on point. Like he's all about that.
And
then there's the scene that
loyal.
is the callback. Exactly. There's the scene that's the callback to when Grissom is rubbing Jack's shoulders and he says, you're my number one, a guy.
Yeah.
And then
that's right.
Joker does that to Bob.
Yeah.
So we see that relationship is constantly progressing. That's almost a little love story all on its own. And then it ends quite dramatically.
Yeah.
I actually arguably that relationship is more interesting and more humorous and more beneficial than what Bruce Wayne and Vicky Vale is. So our fringe character is Bob the Goon.
I would definitely agree to that, but just to be different, I can think of two that I really liked.
All right,
I liked when Batman was in the alley and that guy with the two swords came out.
Samurai guy.
Yeah, doing the and then he just punches him in the face. I liked that. It's very Indiana Jones of him. But also, I kind of liked the mask at the end. Yeah, Alicia, who's, of course, I'm never going to remember that. But I kind of liked her character. I wouldn't say she's a supporting character, really.
She's extended cast.
She's a support of something.
She's got a fair few scenes.
Yeah, I kind of liked that she was with the Joker, but also she was with the big boss, Grissom.
Yep.
And
she's Grissom's girl, and that's what he says. You tried to kill me over a woman.
Yeah, exactly. And I just kind of like that. He kind of it's almost Harley Quinn-esque. I'm sure that's what they were going for when they made the character, but it's almost Harley Quinn-esque how he indoctrinates her, and she goes from being a woman to the Joker's plaything almost, the way she talks.
He refers to her as a sketch.
Yeah,
he says Alicia is just a sketch.
Yeah.
She takes off the mask and her face is fucked up.
Yeah, and how she's like, brutal. You were gonna let me see you change the art, Joker.
I'm in trouble now.
Yeah. I liked her character, but then again, Bob the Goon. I think clearly they wanted you to watch that.
Yeah, of course.
He was obvious, but to be different, I'm gonna say Alicia.
All right,
Alicia Keys.
That's
a person.
That's a person whose name is the same.
Yeah.
Good call. All right. Best cast, worst cast. So who do you think was the best cast member and who do you think was the worst?
Best cast member? Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was an alright Joker. It doesn't help that I watched Dark Knight before, but I didn't think it was too bad. Worst cast? Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Wow. You're really hating on the Keats.
He's gone for the two big dogs. That's all right. He's gone for the two big dogs. Yeah. There's be a lot of people that say this is Jack Nicholson's movie all the way and Keaton didn't deserve his spot. But anyway, what about you?
Well, just to counter on the Keaton thing, because I do have this written down, there are actually reasons. There are probably reasons why he wasn't super great when he was Batman. And that's because the way the costume is designed, which I do not like that Batman costume, for one. I think a lot of people can say, especially the face, is ridiculous. But the way it was designed, Keaton was actually unable to hear anything in that costume because it was so tight and, they
thick. And,
it caused him to be very claustrophobic because it's so, it's basically head-to-toe covering minus the face. So, it's so crammed and tight. So that could be a reason why his performance as Batman wasn't very fluid, because he was very, he can't turn his head for one thing. He has to do the whole shoulder Batman turn. So the costume design and a little extra trivia. His boots, the creator, not Tim Burton, I want to say art director, one of the production, wanted a sponsorship with Nike. So you'll see in the scene where he lifts up the guy, like at the very start, and holds him over the edge, there's a shot with his feet and the other guy's feet like raised up, like over the ledge. Yeah. The boots he's wearing are actually remade, like painted up and sort of tweaked Nike Air Trainer 3s, like which were pretty hype at that point in time, you know, the 80s. And I just think it's quite funny that Batman's wearing like sort of a fresh pair of Nikes. Like
that's not bad. Ditch the Bat boots.
Yeah.
The Nikes.
He got the Nike. You know, he's got a rep. You know, he's on that Nike life. Got the Supreme hoodie. You know, in the back. I just like that, but that could be a reason why his Batman was a bit stiff and a bit, you know, because I kind of agree it wasn't the best portrayal of Batman. But it was the first, for a movie at least.
What about you? Your best and worst?
Best and worst. Ooh, I think we all got to agree that the ridiculousness of Jack Nicholson, and we'll talk about his contract, because that's fucking insane, but he just does it well. But then again, I think the Joker character...
It's the best character.
From what I've heard of, like, the way people prepare for it, like Heath Ledger, and, I mean, Jared Leto wasn't the best Joker, but he did take... some steps into preparation, even though they weren't that great. It's a very free, like once you get into that mindset, I believe a lot of people run with it. They do their own thing. And I just think it's very free, you know, so you can sort of do what you want with that. And especially Jack Nicholson, he's already kind of like a goofy, crazy guy. Yeah. So he was perfect for the role. I mean, apparently to get Jack, because originally he declined the role, to get him to do it, they offered Robin Williams the job. Yeah, I've heard this. If you've heard that. And then once Jack Nicholson heard that Robin Williams might be the Joker, he took the job. And Robin Williams, he didn't sue Warner Brothers, but he refused to work with them. Yeah, he refused to work with them until they gave him an apology. And they did an apology like 10 years later, like ridiculously on.
They wanted him to make other movies with them, and he's like, no, get fucked.
Yeah,
they basically used him as like casting bait.
They very much did. And so.
He didn't like that. Robin Williams don't play that way.
He does not play those games. And then, of course, Jack Nicholson's contract was crazy. He demanded like a strict shooting schedule. I've got all this written down. A day off every Lakers home game.
Yeah, he goes to all the games.
He's a fan. And $6 million up front before you've stepped foot in the role. He's like, give me $6 million right now. And then he got a percentage of the gross film total, which made him apparently well over $50 million.
Yeah, it's rumored to be the biggest salary any single person has ever got for any one movie.
That's insane.
He also demanded top billing.
Yeah.
So his name is first on all promo advertising and the credits. Yeah.
It's a lot of money. And I respect the man for doing that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, being like, if you want me, this is what you got to do.
Yeah, because he's a huge star by this time.
By that point in time,
like, he's already done One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and The Shining and all this sort of stuff. He's been around, he's worked with people, he's an Oscar winner, and now he's going to take this character on. It's like, yeah, I will, but I want everything that I want.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Worst?
Worst, I reckon Gordon. Commissioner Gordon. I mean, say what you want about...
Pat Hingle.
Yeah. Say what you want about, like, Vicky Vale and that, but I think Gordon...
I think Kim Basinger was awesome in this.
Yeah, well, okay, fine. But...
You fucked up there.
I didn't like Gordon because he was nothing. Yeah. So it might not be a cast choice, maybe a character, like the way the character was played, but there was nothing to him. He was just a straight cop. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. Like, the most he got was, don't kill Jack. We
want him alive.
Yeah, that's it. Like, they did nothing. And like I said, I don't read comic books that often. I know about them. So I'm not sure if originally Gordon was a big thing. I mean, definitely later on, you know, in The Dark Knight, he's like the second, you know, character. There just was nothing to him. Yeah, he was a nothing character. He could have been mentioned in that movie and still had the same amount of weight.
Fair enough.
Billy D did a way better job, and he was in it like a scene less. And Billy D was like a more playful character, but wasn't a fan of that.
My best and worst is probably the same as Alvin's. Jack Nicholson, obviously the best. Like, it's his movie.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton, to say that he's like the worst is probably a bit tough. I just feel like it's been done better and it could have been done better. And if I look at sort of like the rest of the cast, like I think Knox is fine, Vicky Vale's fine. Gordon's not great now that you've brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
And the Harvey Dent character wasn't used well, but that's not the actor's fault. Alfred was what he was.
Yeah, he was Alfred.
So everyone else is sort of, okay, oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to change that. I know who I think is the worst. Eckhart.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I didn't like Eckhart at all. William Hootkins, who played him, not a fan.
No.
Nah, he was terrible. He played it so over the top. Like everything was so like when he says he's handing out the pictures of Jack Napier, like that they're not going to know what he looks like.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Shoot to kill." Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shoot to kill. Like we know how guns work.
Yeah.
Like we're police officers.
Shooting, yeah.
Like, it's just fucking stupid.
Just to clarify, when you say shoot to kill, you mean shoot to like maim?
Suppressing fire.
Yeah. Like
surround and suppress. Like
scrape a note. Like throw the gun at him in like a distraction.
You want me to jump out and yell freeze? Yeah, no, I get it. Cool.
That's why. Because the first guy.
The cops are fucking idiots. Yeah. Incompetent springs to mind.
Shoot to kill. Oh, I know. Freeze.
Yeah. All right. We've sort of already touched on quotes.
I quite liked the quote at the start of the film, like when you first sort of introduced to Jack, the Joker before he's the Joker.
Jack Napier. Yeah.
When he's watching the television and they're saying like
that they're coming after the mob and
shits like that, and he says decent people shouldn't live here, they'd be happier someplace else. I really like that because that's very much Gotham, like in a lot of things, like, and we're going back to like, you know, Gotham as a character. In a lot of representations of Gotham, it's always in a state of stagnation. I think in the I hope it's not Batman versus Superman, but in one of them people are like actively leaving Gotham because there's so much crime they can't live there anymore. But a lot of people are just staying because, well, this is what we're used to now. So I do like that idea of like, you know, decent people don't live in Gotham. Gotham's a shithole for shit people. And that's the mentality that everyone's got. So I just kind of like that kind of throwaway line. I think it was really cool.
There's another one I like as well. Joker says to Bob the Goon at one point, this town needs an enema. And then he blows a little party pop up. That's
very Nicholson. I would not be surprised if that was like an ad lib.
Yeah. Did anyone have another one? A quote? Yeah.
My favorite quote was when Joker said, "You made me," and then Batman's like, "You made me first."
Yeah, cool. Because that's sort of like nice full circle stuff. Yeah. Oh, have you ever danced with the devil in the pub? Like that's probably. That's probably the best quote, but it's just not necessarily the funnest quote.
Yeah, I feel like...
It's a ripping quote.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to say, but I feel like that was thrown in. Because he only says it twice and then once in a flashback.
Yeah, he says it's something I like to say before I kill my prey, and it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
you don't fucking say it ever,
like 3
except
times.
For the flashback where he kills the parents. Exactly.
I just feel like it was a bit pushed to like because
to make the link
the
for Bruce
actor
Wayne.
That plays young Jack Nicholson doesn't really look like young Jack Nicholson. I mean, looked like him enough, but
he had the big smile.
Yeah,
that was what
like
I guess
I
that's
felt
what
like
going for.
Tim Burton or whoever did that scene was like, we need to give him a reason to remember this. Yeah, and so they threw that quote in. Like it's a nice quote, and if he said it a lot, like if he said it. When he threw does he say it when he throws the guy off the Grissom or whatever?
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't.
No, if he said it then, and if he said it when he shocked that guy, and then if he said it like maybe another time, like he constantly was saying it.
And you feel like if he does say it all the time, and then he says it to one of those guys, they're gonna know.
Yeah. And they'll be more scared.
All the time, and then he has that hand buzzer thing, and he's like, right before he shakes his hand, he's like, "Oh, by the way, he's like, I'm not shaking your fucking hand now."
Yeah, and
because it's like, why would I not pull my gun and shoot you? You're obviously about to kill me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it could have been done better,
Yeah. So this is just best thing, worst thing. So this is just anything you want to say that isn't in any of the categories that you thought was good, that you thought was bad. For me, my best thing is like random best thing. Prince doing the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like Prince's music, like that's sick.
That's a good, unfortunately it was because they couldn't get Michael Jackson.
Well, I'm okay with that.
But I mean, like I don't like that he was second choice, but of course,
I see what you're saying.
You can, it's Michael Jackson or Prince, if you can get Michael Jackson, you're getting Michael Jackson. But yeah, I think Prince's soundtrack's Cool. He did it for that one, the next one, and then the one after that, didn't he?
Okay.
I feel like, because I know he did the one with Two-Face in it because he's got that. Oh wait, no,
You're thinking of Seal.
Yeah.
Kiss from a Rose.
Yeah,
yeah, that's
right.
Seal.
No,
and U2 did a song, Hold Me, Kiss Me, Thrill Me, Kill Me, or whatever it is, which is actually a cracking song.
No,
That's off Forever.
You know what I was thinking of? He has that song, The Batman. Remember that?
No.
Oh, he does he does a music video for it.
Oh yeah, the Bat Dance.
The Bat Dance. That's it.
Yes.
And he's got Two-Face, but it's one half is Joker, one half is Batman. That's why I'm thinking it's the one with Two-Face.
Yes.
But yeah.
But he wears that same makeup in the Party Man film clip as well.
Yeah.
And he wears a purple suit, because all the comments on YouTube say, why wasn't Prince the Joker?
Yeah.
Because he's wearing the purple suit doing the dancing. I don't know what my random worst thing is. Because the thing I dislike the most, I've already said, which is the magic bullet. The casting thing I don't like is Eckhart. And the missed opportunities, Harvey Dent not being Two-Face. But I guess now that you've brought it to my attention, not incorporating Robin when they probably could have. So worst thing is going to be the decision not to incorporate him when I guess at some point it was on the table. The movie might have ran a bit long. It's like 2 hours and 5 minutes. But then Dark Knight's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And it expands it introduces Two-Face. So yeah, best thing, worst thing, Prince soundtrack, best, no Robin, worst. Random best thing?
I quite liked some of the music like all of the music stuff was pretty good, but I liked when he's Joker, he shoots a Grissom. That's right, because he does it like under the legs,
behind the back and over the shoulder and shit.
I like that circus music plays when that's happening.
Yep.
I feel like they could have done more. Just a bit of maybe sampling some circus music throughout the Prince tracks or so on. But I like that they just added that fun little touch. And of course the start of the thing, that Danny Elfman classic, what we now know is the Batman theme.
Yeah.
I think just because it became such a classic later on.
Iconic.
Yeah. So for me, best stuff, a lot of the musical scores I think were done pretty well.
None of the music misses, does it?
No.
There's never a time when you're listening and you think, what the fuck is this song?
Yeah.
Random worst?
My gripes on both the costume and Vicky Vale and Alex Trudeau.
Alex Trebek.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that,
you've covered all your hatred?
Maybe just a bit of the pacing. I think it's not very well paced.
Right, yeah, you were saying before it goes up and down.
A lot of it's fast and then it slows down, especially with the stuff between Bruce and Vicky. It's like not super slow, but it slows down noticeably. They take a good solid, 5 minutes with them on the stairs talking about shit.
Yeah.
And then, he
throws her shoe randomly.
Yeah, as you do.
And was it supposed to land in the background of that scene? Or it just did and they're like, fuck it, we're keeping that cut?
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he's supposed to throw it because he does.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
it upset me as a kid. as a kid, to adults, I'm like, when you're making out with a chick, is that what you do? Take her shoes off and throw one? It's fucking weird. That's a weird thing to do.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
Yeah.
And you know what? Later on, when they're climbing the stairs of the cathedral, she drops a shoe and Jack Nicholson, I think he kisses it and throws it down. There's a lot of shoe play in this.
Yeah.
She takes her shoes off a lot. When she gets out of the Batmobile, she does as well to run. She takes her shoes off 4 or 5 times in this movie. Basinger can't run in heels. That's what I'm getting.
Bassinger just didn't like the shoe. She's like,
it's like, you know what? Fuck the costume director. I ain't wearing this.
I want my Gucci flip-flops, goddammit. There are, just kind of going back on things, there are a lot of parallels between Batman and the Joker, which I kind of like. Even though you both hate the apartment scene, I took note that when Bruce Wayne enters the apartment, he says, "Oh, there's a nice place, lots of space."
Yeah.
And then when Joker enters it later on, he says the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Which I thought was nice. I like it when people do
clever.
tiny.
It's a small writing thing, you're right, that adds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I got to note that the normal people, especially for Bruce Wayne, I took note, in my notes, I wrote, Bruce Wayne rocking the turtleneck and mum jeans.
I know. That scene was referred to as Bat Dad.
Yeah, definitely. I do like him.
Oh, no.
Turtleneck thing.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
And
this is what you're saying about him not being cool?
Yeah. He's definitely not a suave Batman.
No.
When he pretends to not be Bruce Wayne, that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
He just pretends to not be Bruce Wayne at the party.
Yeah, she's
and
like,
then
which one of these guys is Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
And he's all like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm Bruce Wayne. Hi, nice to meet you." I was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure now." Blah, blah, blah. Ha ha! I fooled you. You are the fool. You fucking bitch. And then he's like slaps. I thought it was a very odd direction to take the movie when he slaps her across the face.
What was he trying to achieve? Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I liked seeing Batman run. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah. When he's like, because he can't move his neck, so it's like it's all upper body, like which of course you can't see those listening, but.
Yeah, Sean's doing a great demonstration right now.
So those things. Right. Those things. What about you, Alvin?
My favorite thing about the movie is the set. I mean, it looked amazing.
Set design, very good.
10 out of 10. But the worst thing, I've already said it, but Batman.
Yeah.
Just all of Batman.
Are you hating on Batman because of the Dark Knight trilogy and you sort of like, that's what it is in your head? Or do you just comparatively, this Batman fails? Or is it more that's just like, no, you just straight don't like it?
I think I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the first scene at the factory.
Axis Chemicals, yeah.
When Batman's escaping after Jack Napier fell into the chemicals.
Yeah. I know what you're going to say. Yeah. And then he throws that thing straight down on the ground, and there's that awkward moment. And then the two stupid cops wander in it. It's
like
fucking...
they walk through the fog. It's like, he's not here. What happened to him?
They are the epitome of incompetence in that moment. Yeah. That's laughable, that scene.
Did you hear a zzz? Yeah. I definitely didn't.
Yeah. No, I'm assuming he's just waiting for us to arrest him. Yeah.
I did like, though, that Batman uses gadgets on his belt. I thought that was really cool because that's that's part of his meme. Definitely the later Batmans, I don't nothing shouts gadgets to me when American Psycho plays him. Christian Bale.
Yeah, in Rises he doesn't use a lot.
He doesn't. He's not a gadget man, and that's the thing. Batman, he's a detective and he uses gadgets and then he punches people. But in the later movies, he's punch people first.
Yeah.
Detective second, barely any gadgets.
Yeah.
It's kind of like James Bond. In the start of the films, he had all these crazy gadgets, and now it's just his car is sort of Robo.
Yeah, and he actually used to spy and gather information. Now he just gets captured and gets told the plan.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And also we've got to remember, in my mind at least, you have to separate this Batman from all the others, because this is the first broody Batman.
Yeah.
Tim Burton, he didn't read Batman comics. That wasn't his meme. He said, there's a quote as well, he didn't know where to start, because if you start at the start, when Batman first released, he's Adam West. He's campy. Yeah. His suit's blue, and he is a detective. He does actually. He has a fucking, what do you call it? Magnifying glass. Literally, he looks at shit through a magnifying glass. And then, this Batman is made off of the back of the Darkest Knight, or the Dark Knight, or whatever it is, Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And the Killing Joke, which are the two. That's when Batman became dark, when he became the Dark Knight, in fact.
Yeah.
So those are very in the Killing Joke, that's where Dick Grayson dies. Barbara Gordon gets capped and she becomes a paraplegic. So those are very dark comics. So that's what this was based around.
Yeah.
So just thinking that this is the first attempt to televise, show people on film a dark, brooding Batman. And then comparing this Batman to what we have now, which is dark and brooding to the nth degree.
Yeah.
You have to separate them, in my mind.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, we'll see how that goes when it comes to voting.
The latest Batmans are clearly better, but that's because you've had so much to work from. In my point. So what I'm basically saying is you're wrong, Alvin. You're wrong. No.
Next was something interesting. My interesting thing we've already spoken about, and that was Jack Nicholson with the billing, the salary, and the amount of money and all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Did anyone have anything else?
I mean, I had the Nikes. I just like
Nikes,
that.
That was
fresh pair of Nike Air 3s.
I did not find anything interesting.
His interesting thing is that none of it was interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I liked... I don't know if it's interesting or not, but I liked when at the art gallery scene, Batman he pulls out that fucking huge gadget and points it at the Joker and it goes
And it
like
splits sideways, yeah.
Also, how pointless is that gadget? Just
flying fox.
to zip line across like a 5 meter fucking hallway. It's not even a hallway, it's an open gallery. He just goes.
Would you watch this movie again? You can sort of come up with any reason where you might watch it. My answer is that I probably would. Here's the thing though, these are the circumstances I would.
Yeah.
If I was going to watch all the Batmans.
That I would definitely say that. If we were doing a Batman marathon, it's like we're starting
You
here.
got to start where it started.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
other than that, like I don't think I would have just the urge to watch this.
Yeah. No.
If I was going to, I'd probably just get on YouTube and watch the parade scene.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, yeah, I'm done. I got a laugh. I saw Jack Nicholson. Best thing.
Yeah.
In my mind, best thing, best scene, best joke. I'm done. Save the other 2 hours.
Yeah. If I was to watch it, I would be on my phone. Like I wouldn't be paying attention to it as, intently as I would.
You wouldn't want to watch that plot unfold?
Yeah. The answer is no. I would not actively go out and watch it unless the circumstances were we're starting from here.
Yeah, so other than a Batman marathon, would you watch this again?
I would not watch it again. I already watched it twice, and that's one too many.
Jesus.
All right, cool. So we've come to that time.
Film Revival's obnoxiously long title rating section of the show. Whoa.
So our system is 1 to 10, no half measures. Well, I say 1 to 10. You could give it a 0. You can give a movie a 0, so it's really 0 to 10.
0 to 10.
With no half measures. Alvin, since you hated it the most, you can go first.
Hit us up with that rating, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to give it a 6.
Okay.
I decided to give it a 7 because it's not completely bad, but also not great.
Right.
So yeah, I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. I'm giving it a 4.
Oh,
Whoa.
okay.
I mean,
Whoa.
like, to me, 5 is like, it's a movie that exists.
Right.
It functions well as a movie. So 4, it functions all right as a movie, but it's not that great. It's sort of boring for me.
Right.
So I give it a 4. I might retroactively change this in the future.
Oh,
but,
of course. Hey, it's your rating. You can change whatever you want, man.
But, I think 4. It's a movie. It exists. And it has fun scenes. You know what? I'm going to give it a 5.
All right.
I'm going to give it a 5 because of those Joker scenes. If we were basing it on the Joker scenes, it's a 7. But because of the rest of the movie, I think, it's a 5. It works as a movie. It's made competently. It's made well. It is Tim Burton, and he's renowned for being a good movie person. But as
you are yet to see this and agree with it. But
in modern times, I think there's far better Batman movies. So as a hero movie, as a Batman movie, it doesn't work for me.
Right. Fair enough. 5 from Shawnee D.
Mm-hmm.
When I finished watching this, I was thinking probably a 6, and then I gave it some more thought, and I realised that a lot of the lines, I know them because I think they're good and I think they're funny. Also for me, as I said, I've probably watched this 50 times, and I'm not exaggerating, as a kid. And so it has a lot of nostalgia for me, so I'm going towards a 7.
Wow.
But it's as soft a 7 as I can give.
Right. It's like a 6.1.
Yeah, it's like a 6.1. So it's probably like if I saw this, if I'd never seen this before and I watched it today, I definitely wouldn't give it that. But nostalgia is playing a role. The fact that I know these lines, like I know these songs, like I've heard these Prince songs and I know what they're called, and so I'm going a 7, which brings us to
Tallied it up. Quick maths.
Gets us to a 7.
That doesn't date this podcast at all.
a 7. Oh no, you went a 5 in the end.
Yeah, 757.
Which gives us 19. So 19 out of 30, which is good enough for first and last.
Yeah.
On our list of movies we've done.
Yeah.
So there you go. So it's current top spot. Something had to be first, didn't it? It had to be first and last.
Yeah.
No one else got anything to say. We're going to call it.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks for listening.